Most calorie tracking apps make weight loss harder, not easier. They're bloated with full features, riddled with ads, and they're just way too slow to use. And even though I lost 70 pounds by tracking my calories, when tracking starts to feel like a second job, you're not gonna stick with it. That's why I tested 47 apps and found the one that actually helps you lose weight without burning you out. And I'll show you the only one I'd actually recommend if you want real results and a way to keep the weight off for good. Most people assume calorie tracking gets easier once you find the right app. But for me, the right app actually made it worse, not better. And I tracked everything, but it started taking over my life. You see, apps like MyFitnessPal train me to obsess over one thing, and that's daily calories. So I'd skip meals, I'd over-exercise, and even swap real foods just for snacks, just to make the numbers work on the little calculation sheet that they have at the top. And that mindset got toxic fast. And I get it. These apps try to help you by focusing on calories burned and calories consumed. But here's the problem. Those numbers, they're just estimates. They don't know your metabolism, they don't know your stress levels, or even your sleep. So you're putting in all this effort only to chase the wrong targets. One app would say that I burned 260 calories, but my smartwatch said that I would burn 450 and vice versa with other exercises. And if you think about that, that could be a minimum of at least a pound per day you're not even considering just from one exercise. Because fat loss isn't about one day, it's about weeks, months, and consistency among those months. But these apps made every single day feel like a pass or fail test, and it gets worse. You know when you have that urge that when you want to eat out, well, just forget about it. I'd be out at dinner with friends, scanning menus and just second guessing every single bite. If the food wasn't in the app, I'd either skip the meal or I'd just guess, and I felt like a failure either way. Instead of enjoying my life, these apps made food feel like the enemy. And even if they did have the foods that I had, logging was just as bad because they had endless bugs, ads, and just wasted time. I timed it once, and 2 minutes just to log a sandwich. And multiply that by every single meal and snack, it just adds up to hours by end of the week. I checked my phone one time and said I was on my MyFitnessPal for 2 hours straight because it was so slow. And since it just felt like another job, you're not gonna stick with it. And that's why I realized the problem wasn't me, it was the way that these apps were built. So here's the weird part. If calorie tracking helped me lose 70 pounds, why did almost every app I tried make it feel harder, not easier? To actually help you lose weight, a calorie tracker needs at least 3 things to be effective. The first would be accuracy. If the data is wrong, the process just breaks down. I compared the same cooked skinless chicken breasts in 3 different apps, and I got 3 different calorie counts. And the second would be flexibility, because no one eats perfectly every single day. Yet apps would punish me by going over 100 calories, even though fat loss is about the week. When I used an app like Noom, it kept overemphasizing that I was eating unhealthy foods, even though I wasn't doing anything wrong. And the last one has to be speed, because logging food has to be quick. Otherwise, if it takes forever, you're just gonna burn out and get frustrated with the process. And the problem, almost every app failed at least one of these. And that was when I found one app that didn't actually fail me. And it was an app called Loggy. You see, Loggy nailed accuracy, flexibility, and speed, but the way that it did those things was completely different from every other app. You see, most apps rely on crowdsourced databases. So you include apps like MyFitnessPal or even MacroFactor, where anyone can add foods, the data could be completely wrong. Take ground turkey, for example. It's a pretty straightforward food, and it's not overly complex. I logged it in 3 different apps, and I got 3 different calorie counts. And if you're trying to track your calories consistently and accurately, that's a big problem. And Loggy fixed that with a fully verified database. Over 1 million branded restaurant and common foods, all triple checked for accuracy. And it doesn't stop at calories. You get the full data on 40 plus nutrients, so you could spot gaps in your vitamins, minerals, and just overall your diet quality, not just hitting a macro target. And when it comes to flexibility, most apps, as I mentioned, obsess over your daily total. And at best, they give you high calorie days and low calorie days, but it's still rigid because you could still go too high or low on those days. Loggy gives you a weekly calorie and macro average, so one random Tuesday is not gonna blow up your progress. This gave me so much more flexibility when eating out because I could have lower or higher calorie days when I wanted versus having to schedule them ahead of time, which is the complete opposite of flexibility. And for the Loggy app, it adjusts dynamically as the week goes on and shows exactly where you stand, whether you're under or over your weekly calorie average, which allows you to easily plan the rest of your week. Plus, it tracks your supporting habits too, like workouts, water intake, or steps, so you can see the bigger picture of what's actually driving the results for your fat loss journey. And when it comes to speed, this is where most apps crumble. But when it comes to Loggy, Loggy is fast. You can snap a label and its AI pulls in the data automatically, meaning you don't have to manually put everything in. You want a barcode scanner? It's built in. You want custom meals? It's easy to add. And whenever they're logged, they're saved to your recent tabs so they can easily be logged again and again and again. And even better, the search results show food photos so you can instantly spot the exact brand that you're eating. So if you're thinking of things like Fairlife milk or Skippy peanut butter. It's all designed to help you log faster. And when trying Loggy, I actually compared how long it took me to put my breakfast in compared to another app like Chronometer. It took me half the time to log the foods compared to that app. And there was a certain feature that actually shocked me. Loggy shows which foods are contributing the most to your protein, fiber, and other types of key nutrients over the past 7 days. And if you're a numbers person or just curious like me to see what food choices are influencing your health, that's a big deal. For my bodybuilding competition, I didn't know where I was getting my protein from. And Loggy made it super simple to show me what I was eating to get it and where to push me into the right direction. Even if you don't compete, knowing where the majority of your calories are coming from can be a big eye-opener, especially to your weight loss progress. So instead of guessing, you know what's actually working or not working. It's like a built-in nutrition coach showing you what to keep and what to tweak. The nutrition intelligence feature is also really cool. When you long press on a food, it'll suggest other options that are aligned with your goals, whether you're looking for foods higher in protein or lower in total carbs. And for even extra benefits, you can track progress photos, body measurements, and weight, and you can compare side by side from different time periods to see real changes over time. And here's the real kicker. Most people fail with calorie tracking not because they're lazy, but because the apps set them up wrong. They rely on inflated exercise calories, and they panic if they go over 100 calories. But Loggy fixes those mistakes automatically, and that's why it feels so different. So yes, Loggy nails the accuracy, the flexibility, and the speed, but the way it delivers those things makes it a lot more sustainable than any other calorie tracking app. And that's why out of the 47 apps, this is the one that actually changed my life. And here's something I do have to say. That Loggy did sponsor this video, but I only accepted it for apps that I actually believe in. You're not gonna see an app that I use that I don't actually care about. And at the end of the day, tracking your food shouldn't feel like punishment. With the right app, I stopped stressing over single meals, stopped feeling guilty after dinner, and started actually enjoying the process, because when I did that, it helped me lose the weight, keep it off, and for the first time, enjoy the process. If you want to try Loggy yourself risk-free with a trial to see these benefits, there's a link down in the description below, and using it means I can keep doing honest reviews like this one. But nutrition is only half the battle. If you want the workout lessons that help me stay consistent while losing 70 pounds, make sure you check out this video right here, and I'll see you there in a second.